I don't like you, Internet. Nothing personal, kids. I don't like you, Internet. Nothing personal, kids. But you're just wrong about this. So listen up.
All of the drama, whenever will it cease? Should be right now. Fake is innocent, so proven guilty. You claim there's lots of victims, you say that you won, but we still ain't seen no proof. That ain't how this country's run. You've been trying to tell us about all the awful things he's done. I thought it was so much fun. Kissy face emoji, now his career's gone. So come on, naysayers, you just trying to spread the drama. Here, let me stand with Vic Mignogna. Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. The industry ain't nothing without Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Looking for information, they just adding to the drama. Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Still nothing but hearsay, but now his career's a goner. Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Anime ain't nothing without Vic Mignogna. If you don't have the proof, then why you wanna kick him? I don't know about you, it's for me, I'm standing with them. Voice of Broly, he was doing great at Funimation, but then they fired him, all thanks to baseless allegations. You're a Nazi, what the frick is that even supposed to mean? That you can't do your research in the anime community? If you ain't got the proof, take your mouth and shut it, cause you just spreading hate that I promise no one wanted. Listen, Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. The industry ain't nothing without Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Looking for information, they just adding to the drama. Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Still nothing but hearsay, but now his career's a goner. Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna. Anime ain't nothing without Vic Mignogna. All of the population agrees that Vic is brilliant, but most of our reactions made us all look like some idiots. So dumb!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Eric McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I've been better, but it cost more.
Yeah.
Ixel
I'm
Pearson.
so excited to talk about this stuff today.
Oh yeah, Ixel Pearson in the chat, digging up some SPCC memories and making me sad already. I miss that guy. He was really funny. Stream me. Short-lived, but it almost seems like it was a lot longer ago than it was, too. Like, the way things happen on the internet are just weird.
Yeah, because that was just, what, 6 months ago?
Yeah, like a few months back. But it almost feels like the Mundane Matt thing is like years ago when it was like almost a year ago. It's getting close, but it's just now hitting a year ago that the Mundane Matt thing happened. And here Mundane Matt was talking about Nick Rekieta on Twitter earlier this week. So we've gone full circle. The guy's trying to be relevant again by inserting himself into the Weeb Wars.
And buy his book.
Oh, no, I think he took that book down when people made fun of it. But anyway, no, we've got kind of a self-admitted low-effort show. We're going to be talking about a panel that was going on while we were streaming last week in the San Diego Comic-Con, and that was the Marvel panel.
Yay!
Lee Walton in the chat. Good to have you, buddy. No, the Marvel panel, they released all of their projects in Phase 4. And I know we don't normally cover the movies or anything like that. We might occasionally talk about how the comics are similar or different from the movies. But I looked at this and I said, man, I don't know if I can, make fun of all of this in the time that we do the show.
It's going to be difficult, but I think we can do it.
You think?
I think so.
Okay, all right. So
now, well, first off, I just want to say, does Disney have to get their grimy hands in every sphere of media possible? Like, why do they need a streaming service?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the new hotness now. Streaming services.
Yeah, but there's so many other ones. Just, partner with them. You don't have to build out the infrastructure. It makes more sense to just, write up a contract that you get so much money.
I definitely think they're going to buy somebody and use the infrastructure that's already there and slap a Disney sticker on it.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, that's kind of how
it annoys me.
But on that vein, though, that's an interesting little segue that we can talk about real quick. Mrs. Church actually brought to my attention that Disney is putting out comic books for, I think it's Zootopia. I've got a link for it. I don't know if I'll pull it up on stream because of how Disney is, but I can definitely look at it at least.
Like that stupid furry movie?
Oh, come on. Zootopia wasn't that bad.
Oh, it looked really stupid.
I have children. I've seen them. Yeah, I can rate bad animated movies. This one was not one.
Oh, okay.
Where is that? I think she sent me a link for it. Oh no, it was on Twitter. If you're not following Mrs. Church on Twitter, you're fucking your life up, by the way. Hey, Matt, Danielle, how's it going, guys? Just seeing everybody jumping in. Right now, I'm trying to find a tweet my wife sent me in regards to... here we go. Zootopia, the tweet, I can bring this up. Screenshot it. I'll screenshot it. I know it's fascinating. But basically, Dark Horse is going to be publishing Disney comics. What's that? Okay. So apparently, I'm just now learning that this is something that may have been going on for longer than I thought. But pull the
why
screenshot.
Dark Horse?
I'll get to that. Let everybody mull that over real quick. Because I do have a theory. Hold on one second. Entertain the people real quick.
Yeah. Well, he's doing whatever he's doing. Yeah, Dark Horse is weird. I mean, you go and buy Marvel and then have another comic publisher publish your books.
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm interested to hear Church's theory on this one.
Well, I think... and I'll bring the tweet up now that I've got it screenshotted. I know that was riveting. Yeah, this is just because they announced the Zootopia comic. Down real quick. Put up. Anyway, the childhood adventures of Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde continue in Disney's Zootopia Hard Day's Work. The young reader's tale from creator Jimmy Gownley, Leandro Ricardo da Silva, and Wes Izoba is now available at Disney Comics at Zootopia. So, if I can, well,
we're doing it live, folks.
I just bring up the tweet, but apparently, like you said, it's weird, isn't it, that Dark Horse is is publishing Disney comics when Disney already owns Marvel. I mean, Marvel has the power to create a Disney-specific imprint. They slap the Disney label on it and tell Marvel, you keep your fucking name off my books, and they have no problems. They don't get any of the backlash from, I mean, Disney owns Marvel, so they're going to get backlash about Marvel regardless, but their books don't suffer with a Marvel tag on them.
Right.
I mean, to an uninformed person, nobody really understands how imprints work anyway. Let's just be real. Unless you're like really, really big into comics or have been for a long time, most people don't understand that, you know, if you get a book with a Malibu or an Eclipse tag on it, it's very possibly a time that Marvel owned one of those imprints. Same thing with DC, their new imprint Hill House. I mean, I don't know that DC will be on the book anywhere, but I mean, it's a DC book, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's like a DBA.
Right. So, you get where I'm going with this. It doesn't make any sense.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for... It's just not...
Did we break something already?
I think we did. I don't know why.
Disney copyright striked you for bringing up their tweet.
There we go. Now we got it. So there's that. Click on Disney Comics. I get full.
So I'm assuming
I was really
you
not
haven't
prepared
looked
for this segue.
much into it, right?
No, but I've debated about it. I haven't really looked into it, but I do have a theory in that when you know, with all the kickback Marvel's getting, that this could be an interesting way to tell people that Disney isn't trying to monopolize their properties to Marvel-only products. But it also kind of explains why Dark Horse may have been slowly but surely trimming some of their other properties away, like Usagi Yojimbo that we discussed in an earlier show. The Buffyverse that we discussed, I think, on that same show, where I was concerned that Dark Horse was losing a lot of properties and didn't really understand why. And that's because anytime I saw anything regarding the Disney comics, I just automatically assumed that it was, you know,
Marvel.
Yeah. But then, you know, I have noticed that IDW's been printing some Star Wars books. But at the same time, IDW has been printing some Spider-Man books as well. So that I also don't really understand. But as you can see here, Dark Horse announced Snow White, you know, The Lion King. So
yeah, I'm seeing Frozen, Little Mermaid.
Right. Toy Story. I mean, they've apparently been doing this for a while, so it's really interesting to see. I forget who it was that brought it up, but I remember there being a discussion, and this isn't to trash anybody or to take credit for anybody else's work, but I remember seeing a stream or something, maybe a video, where somebody brought up the point that maybe this whole comics thing, Marvel is literally losing foothold in the comics market every day. DC is shipping less and less books, but Marvel is shipping more and more and raising the price tag, and they're not pulling the numbers, man.
No, I mean, do we have any sales numbers for the new X-Men book yet?
I think those will be out next month. They've got a...
Oh, okay.
I think those will be out in the beginning of August. We'll look at that, but even still, I mean, you're talking on average. Yeah, I think you're talking on average a couple 100,000 copies shipped to the retailers. That doesn't mean what's moved off of shelves. I mean, people that see shelves see back issues for days of all this new stuff that nobody wants to read.
My shop had so many copies of that X-Men book. I was like, are you sure about this one?
Well, Marvel's been known to double ship before as well. Yeah. So, um, anyway, that's just something interesting that I saw and want to kind of look more into is the why Dark Horse is printing Disney comics when Disney owns Marvel. But I saw a stream or a video or something that had a really interesting outlook on it, and that is that eventually Disney's going to let Marvel run itself into the ground, and then they're going to completely eat it alive. Because apparently, from what insiders say, a lot of these professionals at Marvel are just left alone by Disney.
I mean, they seem to leave like Lucasfilm and stuff alone too,
Right.
and not say like, "Hey, don't fuck up the movies that we paid a lot of money to buy."
Right. I mean, to me, it seems like Disney's been really hands off. I'll scroll back. Scroll back up. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. But yeah, it seems like Disney's just been hands off, and they're just letting Marvel fuck itself up, but they're not giving Marvel these properties to do it with. I think that's really smart if that is the play they're making.
True, but why even buy the company then if you're not going to utilize it?
I don't know. What about the billion-dollar movies they've been putting out, Ayrton?
Well, yeah, but imagine how much more money you could make if the Disney execs went in and like kicked everybody in the ass at Marvel Comics, and then used some of Disney's properties and had more control over those to like have good writing, good art, and brought Marvel's name back up to where it used to be, like back in the 80s and 90s, and then make even more money.
This is just me spitballing, but this is the way I see that playing out in my head as a diehard comics fan. You take a company that already has a lot of negative press, and then you make them a martyr by going in and gutting them and firing everybody from the inside out. You let them all play that victim card. Well, Disney just fired us for no reason. You wait and you let them fuck up once they've just dug the hole deep enough. The question is how deep does that hole have to be when they realize that their entire division is a loss leader and they're literally there for licensing? They could dissolve Marvel, keep making movies, and save money.
True.
So,
I don't know. It's interesting.
but yeah, that's just something that had the old noggin jogging earlier this week that I thought would be interesting to talk about since we mentioned it. But you know, what do you guys think in the chat? I haven't been looking at the chat enough. Need to get it up on screen.
Now, I don't see how that would play into like Lucasfilm though. Like why they're being so hands off with them.
They're not, I don't think. I'm gonna go back up in the chat and check the conversation a little bit. I may have missed a question. Who is this guy pushing diversity? Kevin Feige. That's Kevin Feige, Robin Riviera. Devalues all things in common, especially the long run. Walden. I can't see their comics being any better than the hundreds of mini books they have published for kid over the years from their movies. Danielle, that's true, but the thing is, there's something about a comic book that's just more exciting to a smaller kid, at least when I was a kid. Nowadays, every kid has a tablet or something like that, so, you know, how are you going to compete with a comic book? They need to be pushing these, like, digital, like, motion comics to kid services like Amazon Prime and all of this stuff.
Oh, yeah, like X-Men 92. Like how like the interactive-ish.
Oh yeah, but they have even animated comics. They even have animated comics where a character might walk up on panel or something and then say something, and it would just kind of loop back every 10. Oh yeah, what in heck in tarnation? Matt Christie looks like furry shit. Yeah, burn it at the stake in Minecraft. Sorry, I'm a bit cynical. Yeah, we all are, buddy. Boomer's breaking everything. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Matt Christie. Barney was an IRL dinosaur, all these children would be dead. That's correct. All right. Disney will buy up every studio in existence. The kids' book has the same artwork from Disney. Yeah, and I think that's the case with the Dark Horse comics. I'm pretty sure they just use the publisher, like use the publishing title. Daniel. Half the execs are in jail now. Wait, is that a real thing?
What?
Yeah, Matt Christie, half the execs are in jail now. You want to send me that over Twitter, we'll look at it. But in the meantime, let's get to the meat of this episode.
Yeah, execs from who?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to speculate and get off on that tangent. We already spent 15, 20 minutes on this one. So but anyway, while we were doing the show last week on the San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel was putting their panel out, and it was a long panel. A lot of things got announced. A lot of trailers were previewed. And there was a pretty big buzz. The biggest news, obviously, was what, Ayrton? What do you think the biggest news out of San Diego Comic-Con for Marvel was?
That they're actually making a Black Widow movie?
No, that was not the biggest rage.
Oh, I would think so, because that actually does sound interesting.
Oh, sure, yeah, it sounds great. Why wasn't it in Phase 3 instead of Captain Marvel, right?
Right, or Phase 2.
Blue Cobras.
But...
Oh, shit. Matt Christie, Matt Christie, apparently, yeah, Disney for CP.
Yeah, I just, the vice president was arrested and convicted of child rape.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Danielle Griffith hit it right on the head, though. Female Thor was the biggest news. And
yeah, I didn't want to throw up on a show, so...
You're roboting versus an R2-D2 right now. Was it C-3PO? C-3PO. Yeah.
Either way, how's that?
That's better. But okay. I just want everybody to soak that in. Female Thor. Because Chris Hemsworth obviously wasn't good enough or something. We're going to talk a little bit about Female Thor tonight. I just want to do kind of a brief rundown, but I think I feel like man, he's wearing a headset, Lee. There's no leaning closer to the mic. Put the mic inside your mouth.
My mouth.
Just put it inside your mouth.
Hold on. Like that?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you. But now, along with Female Thor, we did get some interesting announcement. Everybody was kind of excited to hear Blade came back, the guy that played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage is going to be playing Blade. I'll look up his name when we get there. A couple of TV shows. It is. There's a little bit of drama surrounded by that right now. Touch on. Buddy cop show, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Go ahead.
Yeah, looking at this list, some of it makes no sense.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Just go off for a second. I'm gonna go make a scotch. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm not even sure what to go off on. There's so many options here. Now, I will say, Falcon Winter Soldier buddy cop show, that could be fun. I wish it was a movie, because we all know how the Marvel shows have gone. They'll start pretty decent or okay, except for a few of them, and then just go to shit. And I don't want that to happen to some of these characters because they were fun in the movies. I don't get why you're not just making movies out of this or a freaking Hawkeye show. Now, I love Hawkeye as a character, but why didn't you make a Hawkeye Black Widow movie and like show them like younger having adventures doing spy shit? Like, there's so much other things you could have done than whatever the hell this mess is here that looks like somebody just wrote a bunch of random shit on paper and then would grab 2 or 3 and pull them out of the hat and see what they're going to do.
You don't understand, Ayrton. They did is they had all of these names up on a wall, right? And they put them up on like a dartboard, corkboard type thing where they could throw darts at it and pick. Mm-hmm. But they left them all in a pile and just used the dart to stick the entire pile to the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
they didn't
sense.
understand the concept of picking. So when someone explained to them the dartboard theory, they just basically thought it was a Post-it note thing.
Okay. That's what happens when you still do Quaaludes.
That's what happened to Quaaludes. Disney bought them. Allegedly.
Oh, holy shit. I just got a tweet. Disney just bought our show.
Oh, fuck. How much?
$47.
Well, nice talking to you guys. Looking at the chat here, the prequels are looking good this year. We need to see Kingsman badly. I have no idea. Talking about eat that mic, son. Eat that shit. They made him fat to make room for female Thor. Just my thoughts from the week. Yeah. I kind of feel that too. They wanted to do the girl power. Oh God, no, Danielle. They wouldn't keep us. No, they'd actually imprison us somewhere offshore so that we wouldn't have human rights anymore.
No, it doesn't have to be offshore. They have their own jail in Disney World.
Oh, right. Yeah, they do. They do have a drunk tank there.
Yeah. So they would just throw us in there.
Right, underneath it.
Which I'm pretty sure you still don't have human rights because they probably bought the land and like airspace from the government or something.
Oh yeah.
At this point. Yeah.
But let's just move through this. Black Widow, got nothing against Black Widow.
No, that's
want to
awesome.
see Black Widow. Needed to happen sooner. End of story.
Except what I said when you left, I wish they made it Black Widow and Hawkeye and did like the two of them going around doing spy shit when they were younger.
Oh no. You don't get
you don't
that.
Think that would be cool?
No.
That would be cool.
I hate Jeremy Renner. I'm going to be completely honest. I do not like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
I mean I just want to punch him in the face.
I mean, I enjoyed him. He wasn't like sarcastic enough, I thought, like for the character based off the comics, but he did. No,
he was too much of a dick. That's what he was.
But if you did like young Black Widow and Hawkeye, so you'd have different actors that kind of look like them, but are just
no man.
Like,
you don't get rid of Scar. You don't get rid of ScarJo.
Yeah, I know, but
even if it is a dude, I don't care. But no, Hawkeye, you're missing the point, Ayrton. See, right here, down that list, fall of 2021, you get the Hawkeye TV show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and it's gonna
where
suck.
they get to introduce the female Hawkeye.
Yeah,
it's better because it has boobs.
Yeah, and Kate Bishop is like one of the most annoying characters to come out in the last several years.
I don't know. Mockingbird was pretty terrible.
Yeah, but not as annoying.
I don't know. I didn't ask about her feminist agenda. That might be my problem. But anyway, Black Widow. I'm good with it. Yeah, it would be cool to get a Black Widow Hawkeye like team up movie or something like that. But she deserved her own movie, definitely more than Hawkeye does. So
Yeah.
good choice. I love Ant-Man. I like the Wasp. Fair enough. The Falcon Winter Soldier buddy cop show though. I'm on the fence about that.
Why a show? These
Well,
characters are popular enough to make a movie out of it.
yeah, but ratings still matter, I think, and if you can get these characters to be popular enough to be a movie, then you can get them popular enough to get a renewable subscription to a streaming service for $14 a month instead of $14 once in the 2 years it took you to make the movie. So you can spend a movie's budget on 10 episodes.
It's gonna end up sucking.
Right, but you can spend a movie's budget on 10 episodes and then release it weekly and keep people for 2.5 months and get 3 ticket sales out of every one you would have gotten. Actually kind of genius from a business standpoint. I don't think it's going to work.
Oh,
but
I don't think so either.
It's kind of genius from a business standpoint. I give that one a pass. I really do. I can see it going a lot of ways. It can be like a buddy cop where it literally is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If they put the Falcon in the outfit, though, I think there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does have the shield now.
Right, but when he had the shield, he wasn't the Falcon anymore. He was Captain America.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Right.
I feel like it's going to be Winter Soldier training Falcon on like how to be Captain America.
Well,
that makes sense.
See, he doesn't need that though. That was the thing that made the Falcon character kind of acceptable to give the mantle to. But if you want to talk proper, possession, or what is it? Proper line of chain of command, basically.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier has more rights to the title Captain America than Falcon does right now.
True.
Yeah,
they definitely didn't develop those two's relationship in the movies like in the comics.
Right.
But so, I mean, I'll give it a chance. I don't have hopes, but I'll give it a chance.
I want it to be like I almost want it to be like Lethal Weapon with tights.
That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Yeah. So I'm good with that. First 2 entries, looking pretty good. So why would we invite you all to come make fun of all this? Because we only have 10 more things to go through, right? It can't all be terrible. And to be fair, it's not.
It can't get worse, can it? Well, we'll see.
Winter Soldier got that super strength. Falcon just a good sidekick. And Wangs, Nibba, we was Wangs. Alright. With you. I mean, Eternals is 50-50. It can go either one of 2 ways. But I don't.
Yeah, it could be interesting. But does anybody really know? Like, are they into the? No one's into the Eternals enough to really make that a big movie, right?
No, they're not. I think that should be an Inhumans movie. I think they should scrap everything from that shitty TV show.
Oh, that TV show was awful.
And they should do a proper Inhumans movie. And then maybe you get people interested enough in the Inhumans that they go and read those stories where the Eternals are originated from and all that good stuff. But, I mean, do you even know who the Eternals are?
I know who they are. I haven't, read much on them. They've popped up in some things that I've read. I'm not super familiar with them, but I know, who they are.
Why don't you tell the people?
Well, they're basically the controllers of the well, not controllers of the unit, like the deities, I guess, of the Marvel universe, like Agamotto and Sycorax and whoever, whatever other weird names there are. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're a Jack Kirby thing, really. The
Those
Eternals
60s
were
drugs were wild.
right. Jack Kirby created them as basically an answer to the New Gods for Marvel because he bounced back and forth between Marvel and DC so much. That's why you have like mirrors of his creations in both universes.
Yeah.
But there's a really long history of the Eternals, and there is a dedicated fan base to the Eternals. But you really don't. They're just not. They haven't been in comics enough recently. I mean, they're like Celestial Marvel. Like, I don't know. I think you'd honestly have a better time doing a Doctor Strange movie where they're kind of like referenced and maybe Doctor Strange digs into them, or a Fantastic Four movie with the with the Inhumans and the Celestials and Eternals are explained, and you kind of I don't know. I don't think there's. I just don't see that being a movie audience thing. Like that doesn't tie into the Marvel universe enough, in my opinion.
Yeah. At least into like the popular known Marvel universe.
Right. I mean, like I said, you have the Inhumans. The Inhumans are popular enough because they're basically a retry on the mutants. And the X-Men were amazingly popular. And even the Inhumans gained some popularity because most people look at Inhumans and say, oh, other mutants.
And there's some fun characters in the Inhumans.
Yeah, I mean, Black Bolt is probably on par with one of the most powerful mutants on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's been theorized that he could destroy entire planets with his sonic scream to the point that he doesn't even utter a whisper unless he's fighting. So, I mean, that's your movie right there. You make a Marvel's movie. I mean, for God's sakes, you take the idea of what DC's doing with making non-continuity movies, and you say, okay, well, we have this amazing story called Marvels that takes place in the future of the Marvel Universe where Peter Parker Spider-Man is fat and his daughter has a symbiote, and Captain America is still alive because of the super soldier serum, and he's like a savage now because of the way the world is. And you know, there's a villain that calls himself the Skull, but it's not the Red Skull. It's actually a kid. I mean, it's just an interesting story that takes place from the ground level of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
And you know, you take that slot and you make a movie that doesn't really connect with the Marvel Universe, but it has no bearing on it. I mean, the Eternals, when they're introduced, I mean, you realize that they are the progenitors of all life, pretty much. The Celestials grew them in planets that had the Celestial space seed in them. Those are the planets that Galactus goes to devour. And it just changes depending on what the writer's whim is, but if the writer doesn't know anything about the Eternals, the most popular books going on, and you never hear reference to the Eternals in the Avengers, you hear it in the Fantastic Four, a property that Marvel hasn't really been promoting in the last 3 years, then how are you just going to drop a movie out on them? I mean, yes, it's slated for, you know, the November of 2020, and they've got a release date, which means I'm pretty sure shooting's been wrapped, but I've heard nothing about this movie.
Yeah, which is insane. And you'd think you'd bring out Fantastic Four like before that, because they're more on that side of things.
Right. Lee Walton in the chat. Shang-Chi, Chinese name, 10 Rings, written by a Japanese person named Miyamoto Musashi. A big samurai who fought with a tree trunk. It was actually a boat oar, wasn't it? Yeah, he would either show up intentionally early or intentionally late, and he would fight with a boat oar. At least that's the legend of Musashi. Anyway.
Well,
Would
let's
open
move
up
on to
the-
Shang-Chi then.
I would open up a story for a good base point. I think Gotham tried to achieve this, so it needed a bigger budget and better screenwriters. I think that's in reference to Marvel's, but I mean, Gotham wasn't terrible, but I mean, I don't understand what they were trying to achieve with Gotham. I think it started out as the story of Commissioner Gordon and just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah, I never ended up watching that.
My wife watched it, so I caught some of it, but every time I'd catch some of it, I'd either be interested in it or it would just like blatantly confuse me to the point that I didn't want to watch it anymore. Like they tried to introduce the Joker while Bruce Wayne was still a kid. Oh, don't worry about the DC reference, man. We don't care. You have to compare the two. I mean, there's. We just got done talking about how Jack Kirby left his footprint all over everything in Marvel and DC. And said, fuck you guys. You're not going to let me have anything, so I'm just going to leave my footprint everywhere so people will talk about me for the rest of time.
Which was kind of brilliant.
Square fingers for life. But yeah, I don't know. Shang-Chi's already catching blowback. Chinese officials are not very happy with the idea of Shang-Chi. There's a very good chance that Shang-Chi will not make it to the largest market for Marvel movies, and therefore we'll probably see it get pulled before its release date.
Huh. See, now what... One, like, I know Shang-Chi is a character. He's like
Master of Kung Fu.
Now, the 10 Rings is,
Mandarin.
yeah, which they already said is a fake character in Iron Man.
It will be the real Mandarin this time.
Suddenly.
I don't know that it'll actually be Ben Kingsley this time, though, either. I don't know. I mean, I like Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic.
I mean,
see, now, what I thought...
Go ahead.
Oh, what I thought, you know, if they're going to do it, they should keep him. And it turns out he really is the Mandarin. And him pretending to be an actor paid to play the Mandarin was an act to throw off Iron Man. Right. That would be that would be interesting.
Well, if you say so. Master of Kung Fu, I feel like that would have been a better stable for a TV show. That's just my opinion. But Shang-Chi is one of those characters, kind of like the Heroes for Hire. You've already had Luke Cage and Power Man. You've had Daredevil and Jessica Jones. You called it the Defenders, but you could have just called it Heroes for Hire. Shang-Chi could have been thrown in there. He's one of those like street level tier heroes. He did deal with some mysticism a little bit, but really he's just a kung fu guy. I think the most recent master of kung fu. I think their most recent master of kung fu was also a female, so I don't know which way they'll be going with it, but I think Shang-Chi is the male version of master of kung fu. There was also a character called Judo Master. Martial arts comics used to be popular, kids.
Yeah, those I never really read.
You're not missing a whole lot.
Now, Wanda and Vision. What's your take?
If they don't cast Wanda Sykes as the Scarlet Witch, I'm not watching it.
Get woke.
Lee Walton, what about Iron Fist? Iron Fist was god awful. Like after Luke Cage, Iron Fist was just garbage. Iron Fist, the character, was awesome, but they just butchered that TV show. They didn't have a likable protagonist. And wasn't his story basically just Green Arrow's origin in that show?
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
I tried watching it.
I love the character, but I hate what they did with it. Danny Rand deserved better, a lot better.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, because they're starting their own streaming services, they canceled all of their shows on Netflix, and they're not announcing that they're bringing Daredevil back, even though that was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
even if
sweet. I like Jessica Jones a bit too. It was a pretty fun show.
I'm about 50-50 on Jessica Jones.
I think I watched like the first season.
Yeah, the first season was okay. David Tennant was a decent Purple Man, but I just don't know that. When I watch this stuff, I just feel like, WandaVision. Wanda the fuck out of the screen. Iron Fist was the shit of the show. Picking Loris fucking Tyrell to duplicate the Oliver Queen story should have been much better. No, I'll watch WandaVision if they cast Wanda Sykes, a sassy black woman comedian. Leave the Vision as the same actor. Like, I want the Vision from the movies, and I want Scarlet Witch to be quietly replaced by Wanda Sykes with no explanation whatsoever. Like, I want them to play it like that's the way it's always been, like they did with Rhodey.
No, see, you're missing a golden opportunity there.
Okay.
It's not Wanda Maximoff. It's just Wanda Sykes and the Vision.
Right. No, but I want her to dress up like the Scarlet Witch and have. No, I want her to have the hex powers, though. I think that'll be funny.
It would also be funny if it was just her as a comedian and the Vision's just hanging out with her.
Yeah, like she bought the Vision. She won the Vision. She won the Vision at a game of dice. But yeah, if it's an Olsen girl and a robot on a TV show, I really
a robot
I can't.
That's dead.
Yeah, like how? Well, they're gonna
like when's this
Endgame fix that? Didn't Endgame fix that?
No, he didn't come back.
Oh, he didn't?
No, Vision didn't come back. No, he stayed dead.
Oh, I haven't seen Endgame yet because I'm waiting for it to come out on DVD before I'm not giving them my money at the fucking theater. I'm just not doing it. But
so I don't. The only span of time you have is the 2 years between Infinity War and Civil War. That's like the only time frame you have to like make a show out of. I don't know.
They politicize her character. It's all fucked. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what kind of show they're going for on WandaVision. Maybe it's supposed to be like a romance, like comedy show or something. And I mean that could be interesting because there was an arc where like Wanda created kids for them and started to go fucking psycho. And if they run it kind of like a soap opera, that could be an interesting take. You know, that could be an interesting show to bring, more women into watching superhero shit that was interesting like General Hospital was back in the day. So
I can see that. That could be a different twist on it.
Right. I mean, it's not really my cup of tea, but I'm not the target demographic anymore, apparently, because I'm a cis white male.
Right.
So really, they're probably very glad that I don't care about a lot of this. At least until I don't give them my money, then that might suck a little. But
Yeah,
I'm not passing judgment on WandaVision. Besides the fact that that's a shitty name,
and that it doesn't make sense.
unless it's a POV show from Wanda Sykes' perspective while she follows and stalks the Vision.
Or it's literally just a GoPro on Wanda Sykes' head as she goes about her daily life. WandaVision.
Right,
Has,
yeah. Has nothing to do with Marvel Comics.
The WandaVision.
The bait and switch.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah. See, Marvel, you should hire us.
Right. See, we have better ideas than you.
I guarantee if you put that on a streaming service, people would watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
Guaranteed.
Just Wanda Sykes walking around with a GoPro on her head, just yelling at people and making fun of shit.
Yeah, driving to the grocery store, taking her dog to the vet.
Did you just cut me the fuck off?
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be a bait and switch on Marvel's behalf. That'd be great. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think we can do that. But
come on,
so
Disney, listen to us.
Yeah, that'd be worth signing up to Disney for. I mean, what's next? Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, they're obviously going to be introducing the multiverse into the MCU because that always ends well.
Right.
That.
How else are they going to bring characters like Iron Man and Captain America back after they get rid of them?
Right, as different people. Right.
Yeah. Or bring in the X-Men, like people have been speculating for years on how they're going to do it.
Well, I mean, we're in a whole different ball game now because after Thanos is defeated, then the Fantastic Four show up. Let's not forget that in the comic books, Reed Richards was stupidly important to that plan.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to take it away from Tony Stark, but he's not as smart as he thinks he is. I'm not even sure he's in the top 10.
He's just a better businessman or marketer than...
He's a better engineer than Reed Richards.
Yeah.
But just raw intelligence, Reed Richards can literally increase the size and mass of his brain. That's literally what made the Maker. I'm saying literally too much, but that's what made the Maker in the Ultimate Universe, the evil version of Reed Richards. He expanded his cranial capacity so much so his brain could continue to grow. That it wouldn't shrink back down one day.
So, whatever. I mean, it was good what they did with him, but it would have been awesome if the Fantastic Four would have been in Endgame.
Well,
whatever.
I mean, that's a lot to pull in. I mean, damn it, there it was again. The best way to have done it would have been to have the origin of the Fantastic Four taking place pretty much right after the Avengers were formed. You have the initial experiment with the rocket ship come out a year or two after the Avengers movie, and that's when the Fantastic Four would have formed. They didn't have the rights, they were killing the characters off in the comics. After Secret Wars 2015, the beginning of 2016, there were no more Fantastic Four comics until recently.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
that was a good 3 year.
To put him would have been after Civil War, when all the heroes have to be registered, then all of a sudden these
here's the thing about that though.
Superpowers, and they have to deal with trying to figure out how to navigate that. That would have been actually I think an interesting story to navigate that political
Well, here's the thing, though. Did you read Civil War?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Fantastic Four were really important to that, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's a missed opportunity in both Infinity War and in Civil War to not have the Fantastic Four as the prominent forefront characters. I don't disagree that would have been an interesting storyline, but I think the Civil War would have just generally been better if Reed Richards and Susan Storm had been at odds with each other during the entire situation. And they're being at odds with one another, even though they love one another, would have kind of been I don't know, not an equal mirror to Steve Rogers and Captain America's respecting one another, but just vehemently disagreeing. But I think it would have
been a nice dichotomy.
Right, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at you over here with your $5 words.
Yeah, no, I pulled the thesaurus out for that one.
I'm sure you did. He's looking for a word that means mirror image.
And by pull out a thesaurus, I mean I Googled it.
I'm sure you did.
Because who has a thesaurus anymore?
I do, but I'm old.
Well,
sometimes the internet goes out, Ayrton. maybe it'd be good to have some preparation for if the internet goes out and you need to figure some shit out. I can't YouTube it. The internet's out. How am I supposed to fix the internet? I'll Google it. Fuck!
I mean, I might have a thesaurus actually around here somewhere. I just couldn't tell you where it is.
But Doctor Strange in general, as another movie, Doctor Strange movies are fucking badass. So I've wanted another one.
Oh yeah,
this one should have come earlier. I would like to see this in the place of the Eternals. Less than a year and a half away, not 2 years away. Fuck that noise. I don't even know if Marvel will still have the money to make movies in 2 years.
Yeah,
they got that Disney.
More insane than the first Doctor Strange. It'll be a blast.
Right, and it very well could be, and it could be a night Notice his placement though. We're not gonna have any of the characters except maybe the Falcon and Winter Soldier that we've been used to before we get to that Doctor Strange movie. Every character, you get Black Widow, you get the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but that's it. No Spider-Man, no Avengers, no nothing. Then you get Doctor Strange, so you can kind of start to build up who your new Avengers are going to be, maybe. That could be interesting.
Yeah, depending on who they...
Yeah, maybe go...
For those.
Yeah, maybe the Falcon and Winter Soldier, spits out a suitable Captain America. Maybe a new Iron Man comes out of the multiverse and Doctor Strange. We're getting a female Thor, which we'll be talking about momentarily. But yeah, I mean, Doctor Strange, like I said, it left a really good taste in my mouth the last time. If it's the same creative team, if Benedict Cumberbatch or Engelbert Swiftyback or whatever his name is, if he's still Doctor Strange, I'd like to know a little bit more about the plot. But fuck, I'm already in for it. It's a good Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, he was a great casting choice for that too.
Oh yeah, I was a little averted to it. Same way I am with Robert Pattinson being Batman. But again, Doctor Strange didn't let me down.
Yeah. Well, did you watch Sherlock?
No.
Okay. See, I watched that, and he was fantastic in that.
Right,
so
but
I had pretty high hopes for him.
I don't
just
look at
his acting ability.
Okay, well, in the acting ability, yeah, but I mean, at that case, then all of these characters can be played by Gary Oldman.
I would love an Avengers movie where every single one is played by Gary Oldman.
Well, Gary Oldman or Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman as the Scarlet Witch.
Absolutely. But he's still
That would
playing
be
Ron
great.
Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Oh, of course. With the mustache.
But yeah, Doctor Strange movie, 100%, all in. You know, and unless they horribly fuck it up,
Yeah. Well, one thing I did hear about it plot-wise, actually, I just remembered this, is it's going to be more of like a horror film.
Matt
So it's
Christie,
gonna
Matt Christie, just do what I do. Whenever someone asks you how to spell something, what something means, or what similar words are, you just look at them and say, "Gee, if only I had the wealth of human knowledge in a small square in my fucking pocket, maybe I could help you with that." Huh? And then just move on about your day. Because until people learn that this thing in their pocket isn't only for text messaging and porn, we're never going to get anywhere.
And Instagram.
And what?
Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I couldn't call people cucks on Twitter without my phone either. So that's another good thing about it. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite storylines. Danielle, Doctor Strange is probably the best Phase 3 Marvel movie besides the Infinity Saga. I'll say that outright. Thor Ragnarok was pretty good, but I mean, all in all, of the last Marvel movies to come out, Doctor Strange and Infinity War and apparently Endgame are the three.
And if in Ragnarok they didn't get to use Immigrant Song, it wouldn't have been as good. Just saying.
If they what?
If they didn't use Immigrant Song in those two spots, it wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah. But
in my opinion.
That's what we pay you for. Speaking of, I got a comic book in the mail today.
Oh, did you?
I did. This thing is literally as big as a magazine. How much?
See, I told you.
How much was this U.S.? Like, what was the conversion roughly?
Oh, let's see. I bought the two of them and a bottle of water for 20 soles, which is like $3.33 or $3.30 was the conversion. So I don't know. Not that much. I can't do math in my head. Hold on. About $4.
Okay, so you're telling me you got a magazine-sized 80-page comic book, full color, newsprint, for about and a nice cardstock cover too. I mean, this is not a paper shit cover. I mean, this is something that I could let my kids look at, and they probably. I mean, I'm not gonna, but I'll probably look at it with them. My middle daughter has a fascination with Spanish things, but. I mean, you got almost 160 pages of comic book for about $3.
Yeah, $3-4 somewhere in there.
I'm guessing the bottle of water was about $1.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
Or maybe $1, maybe $1.50 because water is gold everywhere else in the world.
It's actually surprisingly cheap there. So actually, the water only might have been like 75 cents US.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. Like, you're looking at alternate prices or lower for a comic book that's 80 pages of story. Like, it's not. I mean, I don't see a single advertisement.
We don't know, but
I don't see a single advertisement in this. I mean, you can pretty much tell the story from the pictures. That's kind of the beauty of sequential art.
that was kind of poke at my lack of understanding of Spanish, although I went to a Spanish-speaking country for 10 days.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you had American dollars. So they've got an advertisement of something for 23,900. Interesting. Yeah, this is a beautiful comic book. And it didn't cost $5. You tell me.
Right.
So, I think that really something interesting. And this character apparently is really big over in Peru and other Latin American speaking countries. So, Latin American, Spanish speaking. I don't know what's politically correct so that I can completely disavow it.
I don't even know anymore. I would just say South America.
Okay.
It's geographically accurate.
So we're about halfway through this list. The next thing I see is the most horrible logo for anything I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And a horrible idea.
A Loki TV show? You mean you don't think Loki would be a great TV show?
No, not even remotely.
Oh. So
But
I know.
let's hear your take on it.
Oh, it really depends on what stories they go for with Loki. What kind of things they get into, because Loki's an interesting character.
He is.
Loki is the Norse god of mischief. He is the half brother to Thor, Odin's son, even though he is basically just a frost giant that Odin adopted. But apparently, Odin adopting you basically makes you half god, which Odin, I know I'm old, but you totally adopt me, bro. He.
Technically,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say technically we'd be like infants compared to how long they live. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the amount of mass around my midsection from the alcohol that I consume would really tip the game off. I don't think I could pass that off as baby fat.
Yeah, but at the same time, you would probably be required to consume more alcohol in Asgard.
Oh yeah, mead, and mead is made of honey, and I mean, bourbon's made of corn. So mead is made of.
Mead is delicious.
Mead is delicious. I actually drank some mead during the first release of Thor. I snuck it into the theater.
Nice.
Tried to do the second thing. Tried to do the second movie the same way and fell asleep. Thor: The Dark World was pretty awful. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could be good. At some point, I'm sure they'll turn Loki into a woman. Because that happened in the comic books.
Now, if they do the story from Norse mythology where Loki turns himself into a horse and then has sex with another horse and gives birth to Odin's 8-legged steed, that would be interesting.
Don't think they're going to put that on Disney Plus.
They might.
At least not in the graphic detail that we would want it to be.
Well, here's my issue with Loki as a TV show. He's an interesting character, but the way they've written him for the MCU, he really only works if he's playing off of somebody.
Right. He's a thorn. He's a thorn in the side of Thor. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna let Natalie Portman Thor have any kind of foil.
Right. Now, Wolverine Infinity Watch with Wolverine and Loki doing like a buddy cop thing, that was fun. But I think Loki as a character needs somebody else to just be like disgusted with as their existence to make him or to fuck with like he does with Thor to make him interesting. I don't think they have enough material to make a full show out of.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to realize these problems, and we're going to see a lot of first season cancellations, like we did with the DC universe. Like they canceled the only show that I wanted to see after one season. That was Swamp Thing.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but.
Well, I mean, you get 10 episodes of it, or 8 episodes, or some shit. Actually, it was supposed to be 13 or 12. They cut it down to 10. Foster me, all father. Latino, isn't that Christy? And to answer my question, appreciate that. So the official description from IGN, really worthy news source there. It is formally announced they're streaming focused on Tom Hiddleston's Marvel Cinematic villain Loki. So Hiddleston will be reprising the role supposedly. I wonder how he'll take getting a TV budget as opposed to movie paycheck. But
now another way they could make it interesting is if they went back and did like Thor and Loki growing up and kind of like showing that development of him becoming psychotic as a child, being in the shadow of Thor the whole time.
Well, one of these things is, I think, and now that I've mentioned that they might cancel it, but the thing is, I don't think any of these shows are really slotted to go beyond one season anyway. So they could just be used as springboards for movie ideas or something like that to kind of give you the backstory, something before it comes up,
or fodder to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Oh, absolutely, that's what that is. But not, but that's what this entire list is. Don't get it twisted.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Loki could be good, it could be bad. We're really going to need more information. Like, they really just announced a lot of this stuff. We got a couple of trailers. But
yeah,
as it gets closer, and to be completely honest, we do have to wait till the thing comes out before we can truly judge it. I'm just not I don't know, I'm not impressed by the amount of creativity going into this, so to speak.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious.
Now, one thing I am excited about. There is one thing I am excited about on this list.
And that's the next one?
That's the next one. Now, do you know what If was?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I know what they're doing with it as the show? I have no idea.
Well, I'm guessing based on the name, and it's going to be animated first off, which automatically puts it above and beyond expectations for me. But I think it's the only one of these announcements that is animated, and it's 2 years away. But What If, just for the people at home, is essentially it was a series of comics created, in the 70s? 60s and 70s?
Yeah, 1977.
1977. I also have it pulled up. But there were 2 volumes of ongoing series that ran from 1977 to 84, and then again from 89 to 98. And then there have been one-shots that have been released over the course of time. But they always are basically one-shot comics. There are some 2-parters, but usually they're one-shot comics, full stories in one issue, and it relies on your knowledge of the comic books to tell stories of what would happen if certain situations had been different.
Yeah.
One of which, the first one is, what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four, and the cover is Spider-Man, and all the Fantastic Four have a 5 on their shirt instead. Because Spider-Man did try to go out and join the Fantastic Four. That was a thing that happened. He just didn't get on. What if certain characters had died? Surprisingly enough, there was even a what if comic of what if Jane Foster was worthy of the power of Thor.
Which, as a concept like that, I'm fine with that, but we'll get to that anyways.
But I think there's one of what if Wolverine had killed the Hulk, or vice versa. I'm not sure. There's just it. It's the same thing as the Elseworlds in DC, but they were really fun. It wasn't something you had to be invested in, and you could just kind of take concepts from the Marvel Universe and explore them. There were no stakes that were on the line. You didn't have to worry about that character that died in this book being dead. It was comics. Like, it was good comics. So I feel like they could make something great out of that show if they told some of those stories, because they've got a wealth of information to pull from already. They can literally just tell the stories of the comics. This will be the first property they can do that with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally...
To what I was just reading, they're going to be taking events from the MCU, specifically, at least at first, and doing like the what if that way, which will be kind of interesting.
It will be, but I don't know that I'll be as interested in it.
Yeah. I said kind of interesting.
Yeah, well. But no, I love the What If series, so I'm at least in for a penny on this idea. Really exciting to hear, and it really gives me hope that maybe it'll continue on, and they'll give you some interesting storylines that actually happened in the What If comics. That's
now, the real question is that enough for you to pay for a Disney Plus subscription?
Depends on how much a Disney Plus subscription is.
Let's say it's like Netflix or Hulu, like $7.
When was the last time you paid for Netflix or Hulu, sir?
Netflix a couple years ago.
Okay. Netflix has gone up 3 times in price in the last year.
Oh.
Yeah. They're both around $15 baseline.
What the hell?
Yeah. For all the shit that I want on Hulu, it's like $30.
Might as well just pay for cable again at that point.
No. Why would I give the monopoly that is my cable company more money? But no, I don't know. It might be. Even if it's something that I, share with a family member or something, or a friend. But
yeah, or just wait till they release like a good chunk of it, then do like a,
a
1 month
thing,
a free trial.
But no, I
free
could
trial, just binge watch all of it and cancel it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't condone.
That's probably what I'll do.
We don't condone or endorse that kind of behavior here on the Gospel of Comics. I don't know what my co-host
no, don't do that.
I don't know what he's talking about. In fact, you're fired. You're fired.
Damn it.
It was getting kind of late. I gotta go ahead and fire you before we get off the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no.
Well, let's see. Do we want to breeze through those other 3 real quick and then hit the big one?
Which one's the big one? I mean, the last three are all kind of big, but
Oh well, I guess we already did talk about Hawkeye, so I guess the other two.
yeah. Just to brush up against Hawkeye one more time, I just don't see it. Like, from what I understand, the story is going to focus a little bit more on his time as Ronin, but and then you get Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, which, eh.
Ugh.
And again, let's just be fair here. I have no problem with female characters. I have a problem with them taking a predominantly male mantle and putting it on a woman and saying, "Hey, a new character."
My problem was, like I said, she was just super annoying.
Well, it's not even that for me. I mean, you have plenty of annoying characters. Dazzler fucking annoys the shit out of me, but at least she was an original character.
Yeah, I guess it's the particular way she was written. Like it was, like she's some kid being trained by Hawkeye basically to take over his mantle, and she was always condescending and like talking down to him and like, I'm better than you, and like, bitch, who are you?
Well, let's put it like this.
This
Okay?
guy, this guy's been hanging out with gods and superhumans for 60 years. You're just some punk kid who happens to be able to shoot a boat as well. Who do
Yeah,
you think
but
you are? Anyways,
No.
that's what I didn't like about her.
never read it. I don't particularly care to. I've read her as a character in some of Hawkeye's ongoing stuff, but
Yeah, that's where I've read her too. I haven't read her solo comics. Oh God, no.
there haven't been a lot of them.
No, there haven't.
But I mean, Ronan's an interesting enough character. Feel like there should be more like it should be. If it's going to be a show about Ronan, it should be a show about Ronan because there's plenty of source material for that. It's going to be interesting to figure out why he got there, let him get through the trials and tribulations of all that, become the Ronin, start developing that other identity.
Hawkeye. Why
Exactly.
isn't it called Ronin?
Well, because it's going to be a show about Kate Bishop and Ronin. We're going to skip over Thor. That'll be the last thing we talk about.
Right.
Blade. Who remembers Wesley Snipes' Blade?
I love Wesley Snipes' Blade.
What did I call it? Tax evasion Blade?
Yes.
Okay. I cannot be held responsible for myself on that show. It was a shit show by admission. But we had 3 movies with Wesley Snipes' Blade before people even realized that Marvel's had been making them. I'm pretty sure there are still some people that don't realize that Blade has actually been a comic book character for decades.
Yeah, but those movies were just incredibly over the top, and I love it.
Right, yeah. I mean, when you have a sprinkler system set up to spew fake blood everywhere because people's heads are getting cut off, it's fantastic.
And old drunk grumpy Chris Christopherson is wonderful.
Oh yeah, Whistler. That's also where the guy that plays Daryl from The Walking Dead, Norman Reedus. First place I ever saw him. Blade 2.
Yeah.
But we got announced that there will be a new Blade, and I'm looking up the name now.
Now, if they don't use the same CGI software as they did in the original Blade, I will be highly disappointed.
What do you mean?
Like, I want the CGI to look old and out of date. Because
Oh, yeah.
what makes that movie fantastic is the effects.
Well, the
Like, I want the Matrix effects where they're on wires and, jumping off walls and shit and doing insane backflips that physically don't make any sense.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it needs to be over the top and ridiculous.
So,
Don't Christopher Nolan it up and go all dark and gritty with it. Make it ridiculous.
well, supposedly it's going to be PG-13.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Uh,
I better see at least one like sunshine grenade.
Marvel Studios is bringing another Blade movie to life, and it already had star Oscar-winning actor Mahershala Ali playing the titular vampire hunter. Now, a little bit of backlash about this. First off, Ali played Cottonmouth in the first season of Luke Cage, and was actually really good at that. I really loved him in that role.
Yeah.
The backlash that I'm seeing, though, is that somewhere there's been a rumor started, or a supposed leak, that they're writing Blade as a Muslim.
Why?
Because of my diversity.
Just make the new Miss Marvel at that point.
Yeah, or, let DC do it and let them make a Simon Baz movie. The Muslim Green Lantern.
Or, bring the X-Men and use, is it Dust?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe Dusk also, who helped create her, or was co-creator of her? Trying to think. I'm getting a mental image of a frog. Huh. Could it have been Ethan Van Sciver? the Oasist? Yeah. But no.
No, that can't be right.
No, absolutely not. Old Comicsgate. Another segue, real quick. The reason I was up so late last night, there was a meeting of the minds of Comicsgate last night, so that was interesting. I haven't finished the entire stream because it was over 3 hours, but there've been some interesting things going on. So if you follow that sphere, might be time to start tuning in and paying attention.
So that's why I woke up to really weird messages in my DMs.
Did you get weird messages in your DMs? Oh, you mean the group chat? No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, that was just because I was up so late.
I was like, what the hell is going on? Looking at the timestamps, like 2:45 in the morning.
Yeah. You have to follow the drama, man. Shut up. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what develops from all this as far as the Comicsgate thing goes. But it was very, very interesting because there are a lot of people mad at a lot of other people. I don't understand why, but I don't particularly care to. I just like to watch it unfold and hope that comics get sold because of it.
Hopefully. Remember, Monster MD, that's done with, isn't it?
Not yet. You still got about 30-something hours, maybe 28 hours or so to go to pick up Monster MD by Von Klaus on Twitter @_RiseAgain_. Go check it out if you haven't already. Worth backing every penny of it. Get the Monster MD, the Doctor himself, and his trusty sidekick, the Invisible Heidi O'Hyde. I can't wait to
I'm
get my
I'm so excited for this book.
I can't wait to get my hands on it, and it should be out and released by Christmas. So you got all that going for you as well. Uh, Crossover supposedly in the works with Shinobi Sasquatch, so that's something else to look forward to.
Christmas Lie.
Yep. Deaf Colorist is Stargazers, I believe is the name. He's got a comic out on Indiegogo. Just absolutely, just go buy some good comics, man. If you don't like somebody, mute them, block them, whatever you got to do, but don't let people on Twitter and their associations stop you from supporting creators. That's exactly why this movement was started. Don't fall prey to the idea that just because you disagree with someone that that other people shouldn't buy their books. That's dumb.
Right. I mean, that's, for the most part, I don't follow like that drama part of it, because if the art looks good and the story sounds interesting or entertaining, I'm down for it. I don't really care about the petty squabbles between people that much.
Well, and that's the thing. Like,
yes, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes, it's fun to watch. We all, we're around for the blood sports era of YouTube and stuff. It is entertaining, but it's not the points.
I think that's not the point of Comicsgate. Like, we have to keep taking market share more and more every day. We have to keep making these independent people successful, because if we don't, we're not going to have a hobby left. That's just the scope of it. One day Disney's going to realize that they've milked the cow dry with Marvel. I think it's going to be sometime during Phase 4. Just looking at this lineup, I have
Phase 4.
Yeah, like I assume that by the time the reports come in for Phase 4 Marvel and the attendance, I assume that they're going to start seeing a steady decline.
Oh yeah.
But who knows?
And then, well, it can go even farther than that. From independent comic creators into them partnering with independent filmmakers, and there's a whole snowball effect that can happen from this.
Let's just get good comics in people's hands first. I mean, Peter Simeti. Peter Simeti has already started that whole trend, because Alterna Comics has The Chair, and The Chair was licensed off for a movie. I think a couple of other properties that they have been licensed off.
I would like to see Unit 44.
Yeah. But Blade could be good. I have all kind of faith in that actor. If they make it Muslim, I mean, I don't understand why they would want to or need to. Like, because if that's a big part of the movie, why? What's the incentive to go watch it? You know what I mean? If it's important enough to mention now, and it's important enough to make a big deal out of in the movie, and the only way I can see that working, I saw this joke on Twitter, by the way, so I take no credit, but he would have to have halal, however you say it, halal, purified blood, halal approved, and I just don't see that working out. He couldn't drink infidel blood.
Well, and vampire lore doesn't make sense with Muslims, because like some of the repellents are like crosses and holy water and stuff like that.
Well,
which a Muslim's not gonna have.
In the show, or in the original Blade movies, garlic, sunlight, silver.
Yeah.
So they kind of took the Christian theme out of it. I don't know why they would need to add a Muslim theme.
There better be there better be light grenades, or I'm gonna be pissed.
All of a sudden, vampires are weak against bacon. I think that would be an acceptable change.
Yeah, I could be down with that. He has like a launcher that just shoots BLTs into their mouth and then they explode.
Now, man, bacon grease bullets.
No, he puts baking grease through a sprinkler system in a vampire nightclub.
I still love Steven Dorff. That was the bad guy in the first Blade movie, right? I wonder what the soundtrack will be like. Soundtrack for Blade 1 and 2 were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
Homicide is genocide for books. Goat bleeps in the distance. Akbar, Jesus Christ. Lee Walton, buddy, I'm going to miss you when YouTube gets you.
I think he gets MVP for the chat for tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. If we had a trophy, you would definitely get it. I don't know. It's going to be PG-13. Not going to be Wesley Snipes. I'm pretty sure they're not going to have Ryan Reynolds reprise his role. Or the bitch with the light bow. You remember that? Oh my God, that was awesome.
There's so many great things about those movies.
Right. I mean, and you're not going to capture that in a new era of the Marvel universe, especially in this woke culture.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, Blade was about as anti-PC as it got.
Yeah, or him catching his sunglasses mid-throw perfectly and putting them on.
Yes, and being sleeveless and shirtless at some point in the movie. A very important part of Blade. Like, it's very important to his movie character to be shirtless with sunglasses on.
Oh, of course.
Jessica Biel, that's who it was.
That's how I
He's
sleep.
right.
That's how I sleep at night.
Have Ryan Reynolds cameo as Deadpool. Disney is not going to let Marvel Studios touch Deadpool.
Oh, no. No, they're not.
I've been sent a meme.
Uh-oh.
Heard memes are bad. Oh God. I'll share this with you, but I don't think I can put this on screen, Matt. I definitely appreciate it though. That's fantastic. Yeah. There we go. I'll just throw it in this one. It's closer. There we go.
Okay.
Just put it in your DMs too. Aaron. It'll take a second to get there. It's sending an image, but
All right. Am I gonna have to disavow Matt or no?
No, you shouldn't disavow Matt because that's fucking hilarious.
Okay. Hold on.
Just don't describe it, please, for the love of God. I don't want to know. I don't want to know how that was made, though. Anyway, second to last. Moving on. Fantastic Four movie. So this will be the third iteration of the Fantastic Four, right?
I have no hope for it.
Yeah, me either. I don't know. I've seen. It'll technically be the fourth iteration of the Fantastic Four movie, with the one that's available for free out on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, with their track record leading up to Endgame, I could see them doing a good job, but seeing this list for Phase 4, I don't have that high of hopes anymore. But no. I could be wrong.
Well, it's going to have to be an origin story, right? Like, they're going to have to retell the origin because the Fantastic Four haven't even been referenced in the MCU. Now, let's first talk about some of the fucking plot holes, okay? Doctor Strange went to...
Do we have time?
God. He went through how many different multiverse like endings to this battle using the time stone.
Yeah,
And
like 14 billion or whatever.
now they can just explain that away and say that those are just different timelines. But what is a different timeline in comic books? It's a different universe. It's a split off of what could have been. You're telling me in none of those fucking universes is there a Fantastic Four?
Right.
So, maybe I guarantee you, if there was a Fantastic Four in any of those universes, then the Fantastic Four would have been brought back because those would have been the ones that won.
Yeah, and I mean, I wonder if there's going to be a connection between the Doctor Strange movie and this.
God, I hope not.
It's kind of.
I hope they take the lesson.
I feel like they're going to.
I hope they take the lesson and just keep everything as far away from the Fantastic Four as possible in case it tanks and they can just under the rug like it never happened. But again, I mean, let's just take a look at this, okay?
Yeah.
2020.
I mean,
2020.
I want it to be good. I just
2021. Okay, go ahead.
I want this movie to be good. I want it to be, like seeing Iron Man for the first time or the Avengers come together. I want it to be that kind of experience because I love the Fantastic Four. Like they're in my top for like Marvel characters. They're fantastic.
Well, it's in the name.
But yeah. But
keep going for a second.
Track record.
I'm gonna go get some more scotch.
Yeah, but the track record. I mean, you're gonna have to tell them. There's ways they could get around not doing a clunky origin story. But they're probably gonna end up doing that. I hope they don't. If they do, the villain better be Mole Man, not Doctor Doom. Save Doom. Keep him like in the background, like what they did with Thanos. Build up to him. If you're gonna bring him in, if they're doing the origin story, it's got to be Mole Man, and it better be as ridiculous and over the top like it is in the comics. Get that Blade type of ridiculousness.
I don't know. I mean, I think if you're doing the origin of the Fantastic Four, you have to be also doing the origin of Doctor Doom.
Yeah, but don't make him the main villain. Like, have him there as like in the background. But do a smaller scale villain. Don't bring out your big baddie right away.
Like Baron Mordo.
Well, I was saying Mole Man. That's
what I'm saying. Like Baron Mordo and in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
He was there, and you knew who he was if you knew Doctor Strange, but he wasn't the main villain.
Yeah. Keep him. Like, keep you wondering, like, okay, when's he gonna come and fuck things up?
Right.
But bring in one of their smaller scale villains for the beginning that they have to fight, or you can skip over the origin, do like a voice, have like Reed Richards doing a voiceover, and just have like quick cuts of everything that happened, and then like come into like where they are now, like already kind of established, and then cut to him like, I don't know, talking to a reporter or something who's like doing a piece on the Fantastic Four or something like that. Like, you don't have to do a full origin. You can do a quick like 5-minute cut of Reed Richards doing a voiceover, and just have quick little shots of the origin story. You don't have to do a full movie on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I think
that's how I would do it.
I mean, yeah, it's a smart play, and that's probably what we'll get. But I don't know. I think there's enough in the origin, though. To answer Mrs. Church in the chat, 2015. It was 4 years ago that we got Fan 4 Stick. That was where they cleverly tried to use a number 4 for the A in Fantastic, so we got Fanforstic.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was even worse than the original Fantastic Four. With the original Fantastic Four, well, can't say the original because the original was really bad. But the first cinematic release of the Fantastic Four was actually okay. It was the sequel with the Silver Surfer and Galactus that was garbage.
Right. Yeah, like the first one was actually kind of fun. You know, it was cheesy, a little ridiculous, but yeah, the sequel was awful.
Right. So,
but I don't know if you're gonna do it. I think it would be better served to not do a full origin story and just save Doom for later down the road. Don't bring him in the first movie, like as a main villain. Obviously, you should at least introduce him, that he's there and exists, but don't make him the main villain of the first movie.
yes,
That's my take.
our little boy Chapel enjoyed the. Oh, Becky's in the chat. How's it going, Becky? Do we need to bring you on? Are you now a member of the Gospel of Comics, or are you still Jesse's sidekick? Yes, Mrs. Church points out that our son liked the older ones when he was small, but you know that's pretty much where you had to be to like them. Small, you could know nothing about the source material.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, when did the first like Fox one come out? Was that like 2005?
What, the first Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
It was like 2004, 2004. 2005, yeah. With Michael Chiklis as the Thing, and that was fantastic. I love Michael Chiklis.
That was awesome. So
Jesse apparently ate all the jelly beans.
Oh, so he gets some money or something?
Yep. He gets a $50 patron for 3 months.
Yeah.
Good for him, man.
Congratulations.
I wouldn't have eaten some of those. Not gonna lie. Anyway, last item on the list for tonight before we get the hell out of here is something we've already, and I think most of the internet has already explained its distaste for, and that is Thor: Love and Thunder. How about that name?
Hold on a second. I gotta go find my bleach.
That's fine. Get a straw too, so I can have some as well.
Yeah, we'll do it like milkshake style, double straw it.
Yeah. That'll be utterly homosexual, but we'll be about to die, so it'll be fine. In Minecraft.
Yes, in Minecraft.
Right. Don't drink bleach, kids. Not even in Minecraft. But Love and Thunder. Now, it's already been brought up online, and if you've seen this before, you've seen it been brought up. Natalie Portman dropped out of the Thor movies because there wasn't enough money in it for her.
And she's also tiny as fuck. She's not going to look imposing in the Thor getup.
Well, I mean, you know how they shot Ian McKellen to walk side by side with hobbits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's possible to do it, but
I don't know. Jesse's herd of midgets.
I would rather see a Thorg movie where Thor was a frog. I've seen a lot of people talk about Beta Ray Bill. I'd rather see that.
I would want Throg.
Yeah, there was a set of stories. It was actually pretty good, where all the Asgardians were basically spirit shifted into humans on Earth, and Thor had to find them and collect them to make new Ragnarok that hovered above like Oklahoma or some shit. I would rather see that. I'm pretty sure I have a hammer and some. Go ahead.
I would like to see Tales of Asgard, which was those little end snippets in the original Thor comics.
Yeah. Maybe how was Mjolnir crafted? Maybe tell us about where the prophecy of Ragnarok came from. Maybe walk us through collecting some of those fucking artifacts in the vault. How you first came in contact with an infinity gem of the what was it, the Aether?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of things you can do using Chris Hemsworth, who's on fucking fire. But no, we need to give Natalie Portman the hammer because virtue.
Plus,
because those comics sold so well, Ayrton. They sold so well.
I know. They were top sellers.
They did so well that my store still has all the copies they bought of it.
They sold tens of copies of it.
Yeah.
But that, and it doesn't make sense. Like the Wanda and Vision thing. The hammer's destroyed. Where's she getting the damn hammer from?
Oh, well, they still have don't they still have the hammer from Endgame?
No.
Oh.
No, they don't.
I haven't seen Endgame. I know there's a hammer in Endgame because that's like the most badass scene there is.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. That's my favorite scene. That's my favorite scene of the whole movie, right there.
Yeah.
But
what, you mean it's not the girl power moment where the Captain Marvel and all the girls take a selfie?
Sorry, second favorite scene.
Okay.
We don't want to get kicked off YouTube.
That's right. We love Israel.
Actually, no. Sorry. Third favorite scene. My first favorite is when Thanos just bitch slaps Brie Larson.
Captain Marvel right out of the movie. The fuck out of here.
That's my favorite scene.
That was, I think that was a bit of fan service, but I do have to say I appreciate it. Oh, they don't like Captain Marvel. Well, just put it in Endgame. What do you mean? Let Thanos bitch slap her out of the movie.
just full on Infinity Stone powered, just pimp hand, and she was just gone.
Yeah.
That's the epitome of keep your pimp hand strong. Like that's how strong it needs to be.
Right. 100%.
But no, they don't still have the hammer after the end of the movie. So but it takes place in the same continuity because Valkyrie's in it, who's now, quote, King of Asgard, and her quote was she needs to find her queen, so we're going to have the LGBTQAZ 75 whatever push, which is okay because Valkyrie was a lesbian in the comics, right? At some point.
Oh man, I don't know.
I swear I heard that somewhere. But
I'm sure Valkyrie's never been a character that I've looked into that hard. Like I said, Beta Ray Bill. Where Beta Ray Bill at? Also, no, Valkyrie is not the king of Asgard. This is a monarchy. Thor's last name is Odin's son.
Well, that was her quote from the panel.
Oh yeah, but that was kind of like Brie Larson saying that she was stronger than Chris Hemsworth in a different panel. Like, I hope everybody just kind of looked at her with a stink eye when she said it.
No, everybody cheered and jerked her off for it.
Well, she is the king.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Like I said, for most of this, I just don't see myself checking in. Doctor Strange and What If, about it for me. I'll probably check out Fantastic Four and hope that it's better than or whatever. But if it makes it that far, like I said, Phase 4 for Marvel could be some serious diminishing returns.
My prediction is they're going to get to What If. They're going to release Thor just because, my wokeness.
Yeah.
But it's that's going to be the end. Like
superhero
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, superhero fatigue is real, and what did we got? 5 movies in 2 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
Let's just take the average cost of a movie ticket is about $15, right? That's if you're not going to IMAX. So you're literally asking your fans to pay upwards of, I don't know, let's say you're taking a family of 4. So you got $15 for the 2 adults, you got 2 kids, so you're paying about $10 a piece for them. Then you got popcorn, you got drinks, all that shit, candy. It's just $60, $70 experience to take your family to the movies sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to one of those movies that has beer, liquor.
Oh yeah.
Your wallet's fucked going into one of those. But let's just keep it basic right now. Let's just say $50. Let's be. Oh no, you can't. That's just tickets. Shit.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, you're looking at almost at least $80, and that's if you don't get candy. Yeah. That's a popcorn and a couple of drinks. You have to make your kids share a drink, and you share one with the wife. But you're looking $80, $400 over 2 years that I'm going to spend on movies, as well as maintaining a $10 to $20 streaming service provider for the better part of 2 to 3 years. You're asking me to just give you outright for these movies $600-$700.
Yeah.
No. That's the thing about it. Like this is literally Disney saying this is our $1,000 bill for the next 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And I mean, as a parent, I can go ahead and tell you, I'm probably going to have Disney Plus because it's not just going to have this stuff on there. It's going to have shit my kids are going to want to watch.
Yeah.
So, but just 5 movies in 2 years. That's almost $400, $500.
No, I doubt they'll have it, but what do you think the chances are that Disney Plus will have all the old racist Disney stuff from like the 40s? Zero chances.
I say that because it's almost like talking about Detective Comics. The first couple of issues of Detective Comics will never be reprinted. I mean, a lot of people don't understand, but Batman #1 is not the first appearance of Batman. Detective Comics number 27.
Yeah.
And the first 26 issues had nothing to do with the Batman. But they won't reprint them because they were severely racist against Chinese people.
Which I don't know why I find that so funny.
Oh yeah, Chinese people got it. Well, I mean, it was during the commie era, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like, I get it. But for some reason, it just makes me laugh really hard to think of it. I don't know why.
But yeah, Natalie Portman, I don't know. I think they could have done better. I'm pretty sure they're better people to play Lady Thor than Natalie fucking Portman.
I mean, or if you're gonna do it in the What If series.
Lee Walton, Captain Marvel.
That.
Yeah, Lee Walton, Captain Marvel should have been fodder from the onset. Ixel Pierce, can't wait for the Captain Marv game. I wonder if it appeals to the male fantasy. Sure it will. Ixel Pierce again. They don't know if they don't have Anita S working on that game right now. I'm gonna be pissed. Fuck Cyberpunk 2077. I want to run around being an angry bitch, beating up men and taking their motorcycles. You can do that in Grand Theft Auto. And you can do it as a you can do it as a drunk piece of trailer trash named Trevor if you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Because Trevor is fantastic. What I want to be when I grow up. But I think that pretty much completes our thoughts on the panel. Unless you have any closing thoughts you want to get into.
I guess just real quick, I had a feeling this was going to happen. So the whole, I guess we'll say the Infinity Saga of the MCU. That was obviously going to be their peak. There was so much build up, so much tie-in and stuff, and the end, like Endgame, the end of it, it felt like a finale.
Ah, shit. Now we gotta run long because I just realized something. But go ahead and finish your thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah, after I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, this is done. Like, you know, no more Marvel movies. Like, this is the end of the story. Like, they told a complete story from start to finish with really an amazing character arc with Tony Stark, and like it felt final with that. You don't need to move on,
Right.
and that was my thoughts. Like, anything after this is just going to feel like it's tagged on and just like a cash grab. Yes, I know it was all a cash grab, but at least it felt like a complete and overall good story. And now it's just kind of like, yeah, give us your money.
Well,
and that was my first thought after I saw Endgame.
Let's look at let me pull up the release schedule.
Yeah, so really none of this is surprising to me.
Yeah.
It's just a shame we didn't get Black Widow and Fantastic Four and another Doctor Strange and stuff sooner, before that finality hit.
Right. Well, let me, okay. It's the MCU movie timeline. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Oh, God. All right, no, I'm not, because it's a lot to scroll through, but I'm just going to kind of read this off here. Phase 1 was Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and then the Avengers. Okay. You had Thor 2,
Okay.
Captain America 2, Guardians, Avengers 2. You got Ant-Man, Captain America 3 was Civil War. That was basically Avengers 3, but whatever. Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man, Thor 3, Black Panther, and then Infinity, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and Endgame. So, the build-up was real. And the TV shows that they put out had nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah.
Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans, none of that had anything to do with the actual movies, right? Like, I think they made reference to them. Like, you got references to shit that happened in the movies in the TV shows, but Daredevil didn't really come up in the movies. And if anybody would have, it would have been fucking Luke Cage. Let's be real.
Which
Wait,
would
you
have been
mean-
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Not
you mean
gonna
you can't die from bullets? Huh. So, just that continuity, it led to something that you saw forming. Like, you saw it forming as it was coming out. It made cohesive sense.
Yeah.
Let's look at this now. Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Thor, Blade, and Fantastic Four. What kind of cohesion do you get out of that?
Oh,
Like-
nothing.
Right, so what are you building to? There's not even an Avengers movie in the next 2 years to show us what's going on in that fucking world. Do you mean to tell me
Yeah,
that in
it's
the
52 card pickup with the leftover characters.
right? So we're not going to get a group movie until we get to the Fantastic Four. Huh. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it's
And I mean-
disjointed. It's disjointed. It's disorganized, and I don't fucking like it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, remember when the first Avengers movie came out, like how big of a spectacle that was, seeing all these characters come together on the big screen like
Right.
that.
And it was so well crafted.
Like, oh yeah. And we already had a movie for each of them. We understood the characters, so we didn't have to have any of the annoying character backstory explanations. They could just be thrown together, and it was done beautifully.
Well, I mean, let's just keep it real. Even the characters that didn't have their own movies, like even shit like I said earlier, Rhodey changing from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle, like on a moment's
Yeah.
notice. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Fucking the Hulk changing from Edward Norton to fucking God, what's his name? Mark Ruffalo. Nobody cared. Like, it worked. The characters were there, the backstory was there. But this fucking hodgepodge of bullshit, like, what is this leading to? This can't be leading to anything good. There's no end goal in sight with this lineup.
Yeah. And
Like,
we
what
knew
Avengers what Avengers movie do you get after this? Crisis on, or not a Crisis on Infinite Earth, Jesus Christ. Secret Wars? That could be cool. But there's no announcement of the X-Men anywhere in this unless they're coming from Doctor Strange, which is a fucking weird team up.
And I mean, we knew Thanos was the ultimate big villain from the first Avengers movie.
Right. So,
like, there was that anticipation leading all the way up to Infinity War.
right. And, you know, it kind of peaked in Guardians. Like, you started seeing Infinity Gems, and everybody kind of picked up on what the overall overarching plot line was going to be. Every movie stood on its own merit. I don't see how you take this hodgepodge of bullshit, like Doctor Strange and Black Widow. Those are the only two characters that most of us are invested in at this point that are getting major releases.
Yeah.
We're already being told that there's going to be a new Thor. Nobody's like Natalie Portman since fucking Star Wars, people.
Since Star Wars, I was going to say since Mars Attacks.
Might be right. But, I mean, she at least was interesting in Star Wars. She was the best part about the prequels.
True. It was really just that midriff in the second one.
God, yeah. But Blade, they've already talked about neutering it down to PG-13, which Blade could literally be their first R-rated movie that was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which would give it a ridiculous amount of attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, prime marketing opportunity missed with that one.
Yeah, why don't we have... I mean, think about it. You got two characters that are coming back to the stable that have swords. You can have a Blade Deadpool team up.
That would be fantastic.
Throw John Bernthal's the Punisher in there.
I would love that.
I don't know. But
See, Marvel, you need to put us in charge.
yeah, just everybody quit your job and give them to us.
Yeah. And we will make Throg happen.
We will make comic book movies great again.
Well, now we're not going to get the job.
Talking to Disney here. I'm talking to the parents. All right.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's kind of my final thoughts on it. I had that revelation that there's no way you can cohesively link this bullshit. Although one small piece of solace that I take away from this, you know what we don't see on this lineup?
Huh.
Conspicuously missing is Captain Marvel number 2.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Thanos bitch slapped her out of the MCU.
She's a DC property now. Like, they can't even make the movie. That's fantastic. But yeah, no
One
strange
movie and then 12 minutes of screen time in the big finale, and it's all over.
Well, I find it interesting that that was the biggest thing that they pushed for so long, and now they're not even like trying to pretend that they're going to put out a second one yet. I mean, but this is only 2 years out. We know it's a 20-year plan, just like Sargon's.
Oh, yeah. Secretly, Sargon's in charge of Marvel Studios now.
Secretly? Anyway. We'll be talking about the Amalgam Universe tomorrow night. Still planning on having a guest on for Monday night. Some of you may know him, some of you may not, but we'll be talking about a yet-to-be-started Indiegogo. Also, been wrangling a few other guests to come on the show. So we should have an exciting month in August, folks. Hopefully,
we should.
You guys will
Looking
enjoy
forward
it.
to.
But tomorrow night, Amalgam Universe, hopefully with Atomic Denny and Melodati. We'll jump back into that and hopefully not have any audio issues because God, that was awful.
Yeah.
Should be starting a little earlier tomorrow, possibly around 9, but we will see. May have to run late, but depends on how long it takes us to get through everything. But I know everybody's going to have a little bit of a different take and things that they liked about it. So
Yeah, so definitely watch our Twitters for the announcement for the time for tomorrow's show.
that is correct. I'm going to tentatively set it up for 10 p.m., but we'll let you know and throw a link out there as soon as we know.
All right, I think I'm done ranting for tonight. How about you?
Oh, I'm never done ranting.
I said for tonight.
Oh no, man! I'm not even halfway finished with this glass of scotch. I've got plenty more ranting to do. Maybe not on air, but
Fair.
got two more of these, and I'm just going to be raising hell at people that aren't on my grass yet.
Don't even look at my grass, you damn kids.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Please hit like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Mrs. Church, he isn't done ranting, I'm sure. I love you too, boo. My girl. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Matt Christie, Ixel Pierce, Danielle, Becky, Mrs. Church, Dan S for stopping by in the beginning. Not quite making it back, but Cartoon hanging out in the chat. Lee Walton. Missing anybody? I think that's it. Yeah, but definitely I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, hit like, subscribe if you're not, share it with your friends, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.